What's up, everybody? This is RaBel, and I want to come to you because you get a lot of, because we're waking up, because we're coming into ourselves, because we're claiming that we did not come from Africa, our lineage is not in Africa. You get a lot of people coming on my page telling me that I'm wrong, I need to stop it, and a lot of them be Africa, a lot of them be melanated foreigners. You get the you get the indigenous people too, but a lot of them be foreigners. This is what I want to tell you, okay? Us in America, and and like I told you, I'm going to stand firm on this. I'm going to stand firm on this because until we change, let me tell you something. Any wound that heals, it got to go through a stage. You just don't have a wound one day and it's gone the next day. If you take a wound in a person's body, a sore, and when it begin to heal, it's going to go through different stages to the point you know that it's healing. We just begin to heal. We just begin to wake up, and we're going through a stage that we're healing. And a lot of people don't want to see this, because the reason why everybody came to America to see you is because the greatness of you is still attached to you. But we was brought down low because of the activities we were doing. We were brought down low because a lot of people that looked like us and didn't look like us betrayed us. And everybody betrayed us because we was the hub of everything, and they did not want us to know that. So what they had to do is they had to destroy us mentally for us to believe that we was a slave and we was never nothing. And once they begin to get us to believe that, then they can carry on. This is why they have hid so much stuff from us. Now we're uncovering it. They get in my inbox. You wrong, sister. You wrong. Don't say that. We all alike. We all the same. We not the same.
What's your name?
When these so-called white Europeans was coming over here, it was melanated and it was white. And see, I'm gonna get real technical on you. The white folks didn't get here, really get here until the 1940s, until the 1920s. That's when they came over here on the orphan train. Those was the slave. That's where the slave story comes from. When they was taking white children and putting them in America and taking them from city to city to state, selling them or putting them in homes. Because they had to build this narrative up to tell us we was nothing but slaves. If it's 4 million, I'll continuously say this. If it's billions on top of billions of melanated people, and it's 4 million white folks, and the sun is killing them, more dying than being born, what are we afraid of? You talk about white supremacy, and you constantly say white people. How is it in America we have all these millionaires and billionaires, and not one of them got a grocery store, not one of them got a hospital? You go to them to get a loan, you can't get it. You can't get nothing. You still got to use this system because they program to always make you run to this system and think you need this system. Now that we waking up, you all mad. You mad. Because we telling you, you're not going to keep calling us a fucking slave. We're not going for that. Now you upset. Why? Why would anybody want to call themselves a slave and they wasn't a slave? Why? Look at all the videos we post of boats in the Atlantic Ocean. Can barely make it. 6 months out of a year where the Atlantic Ocean is at. Do you know nobody can cross it? Hurricane season for 6 months. You claim that it took us 3 months to get there to Africa, 3 months to get back. This ain't making no sense to me. You claim there was no motor. You claim we lived on horse and buggy, which we know that's a lie. You made up a narrative. You can't produce not one slave ship, but we come from Africa. Africa is the motherland, but they all coming over here. Well, why we not going over there? You claim Ghana, you was going to give us a dual citizenship. Nobody took it. Nobody didn't want it in America. See, because you can't remove us. We got to leave ourselves, and we don't want to leave. Now, it was a reason why so many people woke up. It was a reason. And you all are afraid because the sleeping giant is waking up. See, I'm reading a book. I'm reading a book, and this is what this book, see, let me tell you why they so afraid of us. Because number one, we was no nonsense people. Let me tell you, that crack epidemic and all that stuff, and you see the way we act, no. Let me tell you something. See, they watered down everything, so you wouldn't know who the hell you were. Don't you know? The Aztecs, if you lost a war, when you went to war, don't you know you were sacrificed? That's how perfectionist we were. We was perfectionists. And we still is in most ways. When we do something, we go overboard. That's why we like that. When we went to war and you lost a war, when you lost a war, that was your ass. Because you were sacrificed. Then they start getting lenient. And if a chief in America lost a war, they'll just demote him. And he'll be a nobody, or they'll throw him away. But they killed you. They killed you. See, when they tell you the lion is the strongest animal, that's how we were. Because with a lion, when you sit up here and you think, when you go to war, and the strongest one, if they lose a war, they kill him and kill all his damn cubs and take all his women. And that's how we were. That's why they say lions is the king of the jungle. That's how we were. That's why they tell us when you think like a fucking animal. Because they haven't lost their nature, but we have. So now we're getting it back and we're understanding who we were. We was real no-nonsense people. That's why we'll pick up a gun and blow somebody's brains out in a minute and don't care. But we're using the energy in the wrong way. That's why you don't want us to know who we are, because it's scary. That's why you told us we was a slave. Took our buildings. We lived in castles. You took our buildings. And what you did is you turned them into churches, cathedrals. You set up here, turn them into prison system. And you use them for the prison system. You use them for schools. You hid them. A lot of times, if you go in Atlanta, if you go here and you look, you will see a lot of them, they covered up with trees. They covered everything up so you wouldn't know who you are. See, here's the problem. You wonder why they ain't killed you? They can't do it. That's why they ain't killed you. That's why they ain't killed. Because you would wonder, if you want the land and you claim you have so much power, why won't you just kill the indigenous people that is here? That's us. You can't do it. And you Africans get on my page. And you ones that think you are African, I don't care, because you might just be. That's why we don't. See, the problem is we don't fight with y'all. We talk to our own people. Because we know everybody is not woke. We know that narrative they taught us in school, and then turn around and got all these Pan-Africans telling us to go to Africa, but they living over here. Africa is where I'm going to settle at, but you still over here. Why you not going over there? You still over here. Why? Because if I tell you that Africa is the motherland, that's the land of milk and honey, and that's where I'm going, that's where I'm going to be. They over here in they podcast and everything reporting right over here because they want you to leave like a dummy. Why is it that all Africans come over here, but we don't go over there? And then they want to offer us a dual citizenship because they know it's nothing over there. They lie to you. And they try to make it seem as though, oh, it's royalty. No, royalty is right here. So this is what you had to do, because you had to mess with our mind first. You had to. They didn't conquer us with war. We was never slaves. That's why Abraham Lincoln, which was a melanated man, that's why he had to sign emancipation. He had to sign the Emancipation Proclamation, is because they lost the war. So he had to make you feel as though you was a slave, because they could not beat us. So he had to sign it. Oh, all these men, you telling us to go vote. All these melanated politicians, senators, hold on. Oh, so you not in the public school system fighting while Lincoln is still, they still saying that he freed the slaves, but he was a melanated man. Why are you not telling them George Washington to Abraham Lincoln was melanated? Yeah. But all these politicians telling you to go vote. Vote for what? What would be your point of voting for them? And they ain't got no backbone. That's like salt without a seasoning. They have nothing to offer you but go vote. Because they have to make sure that they still have that power. And they done gotten so desperate, they calling people up. You gonna vote? No, I'm an American Indian. Why would I vote? Why would I vote? They don't want to hear that. They desperate to get them numbers up so they can feel that they still in power, and they losing their power daily. And y'all mad at us. All these politicians, you mean to tell me Abraham Lincoln, he's a melanated man and he freed the slaves, and you said slaves had no power? Now we seeing pictures of all melanated senator and governor back in the day, in the 1800s. And we supposed to still sit up and say we were slaves. How could that be? And you say we were slaves. It can't be. You say you Africans say we alike. Okay, well, then I ask you, why y'all not in the prison system over here in America? Because if we alike, then you should be there too. If they so intimidated by you, like they is us, you would be there too. We're powers of war in our own, we're prisoners of war in our own land. Why is it I'm getting so much feedback from melanated people and not white folks? Because they know the truth. They've been knew the truth. But if we had to figure it out, they wasn't going to tell us. So they're accountable just like any other person. And now it's what's within you. It's where you're being judged at. So a lot of you is not waking up to the truth, and you don't want to wake up. And I'm cool with that, because it wasn't meant for you to wake up. It's meant for you to stay right where you at. Your own people was telling you to go get an injection that they knew was going to destroy you. But you want us to keep saying we was a slave. You turn around, took all of our everything, our castles that we lived in. And what you did is you turned them into churches. Look wherever you live at. It could be like 3 to 4 churches on each corner, on one block. And then a church in between. Those was castles that you lived in. That's how we lived. We was no nonsense people. We did not play games with nobody. And they understand that. And they mad about that. And see, it scares them for us to turn to who we used to be. Why is it that Africans don't live in our neighborhoods? Why is that? Why is it when you go on a job, a lot of them have prejudice towards you and tell you that you are? Because I've had one to call me a slave. I have had one, him, and it was 2 African guys. One of them came from different countries in Africa. And what happened was, I told them, I said, I thought we all was the same. I thought that y'all was my brother. One of them said, we are your brother. The other African looked at him and said, stop lying. You know she ain't an African. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. He was talking to the guy. So when I talk, don't stop us. Because we ain't, when we thought we were slaves, we let y'all talk that bullshit to us, and we didn't say a word. We let y'all talk because we did not know. I had a friend that was gonna marry one. I stopped hanging with her because some of them was calling me slaves, was doing all kind of crazy stuff, and I didn't understand it. Now that we waking up, and I told her, I said, listen, I don't care what they throw, because they love to feed you. I said, I don't care what they throw. I'm not fucking with them no more. See, I know them, but I didn't understand why they was acting like that, because I thought that we came from Africa. So how could they be acting that way? Because they come here just like every fucking body else and steal your shit. When they get money, they don't invest in melanin in our businesses. They take it back to Africa. See, I know them because I hung with them. They don't invest in your children and never will. Never will. And to be technical about it, they don't like you. They don't like you. And then that's when they start talking about single parents and this and that. And you know that you're nothing but straight animals in Africa. See, we're fighting the black nobility, meaning white and melanated. What y'all do is, y'all turn around and you're fighting your own kind right there in Africa. Don't think I don't know what's going on. And you come over here as refugees. And some of you do a lottery in Africa and get to come over here. And they give you money and set you up better than us. And it's quite strange. Any foreigner that's here, you never see them homeless. And then you want to talk about, oh, y'all buy materialistic stuff. No, we was royalty anyway. So that's how our mind think. But we are the richest. And you call us a slave. But we are the richest. But you call us a slave because the thing about it, our royalty is still there. We're still those people. It's just that it went dormant because of the shit we was doing.
The black community.
We was mingling with everybody and we had no business doing that.
Single-handedly own the power and you can't even
That's what the
see
problem
it.
was. And you don't want us to see that. So you get on my platform and you try to talk stuff. Let me tell you something. You can say whatever you want. Because every time I go to one of y'all pages, it's dry. You know why? Because you're not the one that's called.
Wake up and see what kind of control you
I
actually
am to wake
have.
up my people.
If you really
not
want
your
to get
people.
technical,
I tell you all the time,
y'all
I don't
ones
come
that
here
can
for y'all.
save this country.
But you don't want to hear me.
Because the minute
you don't want to
y'all
hear me.
Actually
you want me to think that, oh, we as one.
Is when they
you see our neighborhood. See, this is the part they left out. And that's why it was hard for us to figure out why our children act the way they act. The way we act. It was hard for me to figure that shit out. Until I really start thinking. And I'm like, hold on.
With their bullshit.
Hold on. If
I can't wait to see this shit unfold, because I'm gonna tell you, there's one by one they
we
waking
were
up.
If over
ready.
there in Europe, if those was melanated people, which they were,
to rich man's bullshit,
that's why
and
Africa is not developed yet in a lot of places.
Because
a lot of you was in Europe.
The black vote, it's on like
so
a donkey Kong.
If y'all was in Europe, so them people that came over here, y'all was included. So y'all begin to sleep with our people. You begin to sleep with our people. See that boat, Virginia, 1960, all that junk. Oh, Virginia, no, that was a lie. That shit didn't happen. You came over here for war, and that's what you was after. You came over here for war. After we was generous to a lot of you people, because you know the whole thing was connected, and then it broke off after the floods. Africa was ours too. It was a wasteland. It was a wasteland. That's why it's not developed now. You're gonna get mad, but that's okay. Get mad. I want you to. That's why they telling you to run over there. Why would they tell you to run to a place? They ain't never did nothing for us, but they gonna tell you to run to a place that's the land of milk and honey. No, because they're coming over here trying to be you. But see, they can't do it because they don't have the essence that we have. See, you still having a hard time because you don't have the essence. Now that we are woke, it's nothing you could do. So you telling us to unite with you. And you angry. They looking at us. We fucking royalty, and they looking at us. And I remember that look and smiling. Because they see that they brought us down to a fucking peasant and we was royalty. Then blew up our buildings. Then the buildings that, the palaces that we once lived in, they turned them into something that we wouldn't realize that was our shit that we lived in. And you don't want us to be upset with you. You don't want us to be mad at you. Well, I'm just a messenger. I'm just a messenger. I used to feel sorry for Africans when I seen how they was dying. They would have their bodies lined up. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that because that back in the day when I thought I was a slave, those was my brothers and sisters. And that's how I looked at it. Till I started realizing when them Europeans came over here, those was melanated people. So them black Europeans was raping. You claimed that you came over here and you was doing it. You was raping them and you was killing them. Because from George Washington to Abraham Lincoln, those was melanated people. So you was ravishing our women and you was raping them. So what happened is it wasn't only white folks, it was you doing it too. And y'all was working together. And you got with that white man and told him, this what we gonna do because we have to keep them down. So what we got to do is we have to tell them that they fucking slaves and fuck with them mentally. This is why a liquor store is in your hood. This is why the drug epidemic is in your hood. Because they have to mess up your mind. Because our mind is like a computer. It's highly powerful. And once we on the right track and once we know who we are, then them chakras begin to open up. And women have more chakras. Women have more than 7 chakras. And when they begin to open up, see, this is why I could talk the way I talk, because my throat chakra is open. That's when the fear leaves you. You don't want us to know who we are, but you can't stop it now. I'm going to continuously talk the way I'm talking. And if you don't like what I'm saying, I don't care who you are. Leave. Because we're not here to sit up and I'm not here to get any followers. I'm here to say what I need to say and get it out here. You all are afraid because we're waking up. You took our inheritance and you lied. In New York, why is it that they digging up body of thousands of bones of Negroid people, so-called Negroid people, blowing up our dams? You couldn't mess with us and you knew it. And the only reason you got us is because we began to be corrupt ourselves. So that you was able to ease in. That's why they want everything you to do, everything that's natural, they want it to be backwards. Because then if it's backwards, see, they know you, see, you know a tree by its fruit. So when you're doing backward stuff that's not natural, they know that you're not woke. When you sitting up here looking up at the sky and calling on Jesus, they know you're not woke. You can get mad at what I'm saying, but I'm not going to stop saying it because I know it's the fucking truth. And I know you all have came over here. And you have came over here and you ravished our communities, but you couldn't destroy it. It was only a certain time you were supposed to rule. See, this was a lesson that we needed to be taught. This was a lesson. And now melanated people, you see them dying all over, young and old. Even small infants is dying because there's a purge going on, and you don't want to hear that. That's why they put these 501c3 preachers in all these churches to tell you good things, while deep down inside we was hurting and being destroyed. Every time we'll leave that church, we had to go where we couldn't pay our rent, where we could barely pay our light bill, where we didn't have a car, didn't have transportation. And they used our own kind to do us like this. Why they give them perks to keep you in slavery. Where they come in our fucking hood and sell products that they shouldn't know nothing about because they don't have our hair. And know our products better than us. Who told them this? Who told them this? It had to be another melanated person that looked like me. Because there's a certain way we carry ourselves and a certain way they carry themselves. Keep thinking the melanated people ain't behind this. You're a fool if you think that. Yes, they are. It's indigenous and it's Africans. And it was Africans in Europe. When slavery was going on, they was not in Africa. And I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what you don't like my content, get off my page. If you don't like my content, get off my page. Because I will not sway no way for you. Now, all of a sudden, now we can see the castles because our mind is open. Huge ass castles. And they don't let nobody in them. And you see our indigenous people on their porch laying there. And it's they shit how they once lived. And you think that I'm not going to say anything? Sister, come on now. We won. Come on now, sister. See, we won. Don't be that way. Yeah, you can come with that sweetness, but it's gonna keep on coming out of my mouth. It's gonna keep on coming out of my mouth. What you think you look at my? I didn't have nobody behind me when I built this platform. I have nobody behind me. Nobody. I did it all by myself. Because I'm gonna tell you this. There was a time where all you Pan-Africans and all you people talking crazy, you could talk it because we were still asleep. So we would listen. We don't do that anymore. Once our frequency is so high, once we hear you talk, we know whether you're real or not. Just by the way you talk, we can feel it. Look at these people. Look for an example. And I'm not trying to knock them at all. Look at young Pharaoh. Look what they did to him. Look at him. See what they gonna give you? They gonna give you a mansion, and they gonna give you a fucking car. Those are the trinkets they gonna give you. A lot of times it don't even be in your name, and you got all these wicked ass people around you. Now that boy had a brilliant mind, but look what happened to him. Look what happened to him. Being around people he should have never been around. That's why when people ask me, damn, you be spitting. I'm shocked you ain't blew up. When it's my time, I'll get where I gotta go. But I don't take handouts from nobody. Cause you not about to put me in that trick bag. You ain't gonna do it to me. You ain't gonna do it to me at all. Because I know who is powerful and who is not. And the people you serving is not powerful. They was put there because of our disobedience. Now they about to lose and then you angry at me. Because I'm telling you what's to come. And now you mad. Because I don't sound like a 5013C preacher. So you angry with me. I'm not going to stop. And I don't care who you are. Don't get caught. And you want is coming out. Don't get anybody that hand you something. Don't be so quick to take it. You should have, before you come out, you should have a spiritual awakening. And if you do not have that, don't try to come out. Because these people out here would devour you. Because they care nothing about you. You can't use that mouthpiece no more and talk elegant. You can't do that. But you got to come with substance. And they got to feel it. And once it hit their bones, they know you real and they know when you fake. That's why a lot of people that was out there back in the day cannot do nothing now. Because they know your fakeness. I'm standing firm on what I believe in. I don't give a damn about no big ass mansion, no expensive ass car. I'll get that when it's time. And I don't even desire to have a mansion. I don't even desire it. The fuck I need 20 damn rooms for. And you in that one room and it's furnished out. But your mind is empty. Miserable. Lay up there with all your jewels on. You ain't got nothing to offer nobody. Then you sit up here, you put so much shit in your house because they done gave you all this money. You put so much shit in there. Trying to take away that emptiness and it's still fucking there. Because that's not how you get happiness. Happiness have to come within. You have to clean up you before you get happiness. Then when materialistic shit is added, then it'll make you feel good. Because you know you didn't have to sell out to get it. And you constantly got to go buy gold and diamonds. And you know diamonds is worthless. But they come over here because they know that we're dumb. They know a lot of us is dumb and still sleep. So you go and you show off diamonds and shit. And that junk is worthless. It's nothing. How it got popular was by Queen Elizabeth. The so-called Queen Elizabeth. When she would wear them. And they advertise that. And then you went and you start spending $20 million on something that's only $100. Have a nice day.